What's going on, my friends? So, beautiful chili. So this came from my buddy Frank Schick with Twisted Pepper Farms. I waited on this one because it's a habanero variety, pretty thick walled pepper, and those type of peppers last quite a bit longer. So really holding up nicely. So this is a Big Sun habanero, also known as a yellow sun habanero. Now, from the research I've done, I'd never had this chili before. We'll get into a little bit of a backstory. I've had it prior to this review though. But prior to Frank sending me these a couple of weeks ago, I'd never heard of this habanero variety, never seen it. During my research, they tend to be yellow. There are some yellow hues to it, and when I got these, like I said, 2-3 weeks ago, I think I've had these 3 weeks, they weren't quite as bright orange as this. So, I don't know. They're supposed to ripen from green to yellow, but I'm pretty confident that this is what it's supposed to be, and here's why. He sent me a few of these, and I didn't have any habaneros in the fridge at the time. Your orange store-bought habaneros. It's going to be a long story till we get into it, but it's pertinent. And I go, shit, I got those Big Sun habaneros, and they're big. These are bigger than a normal habanero as well. And this is one of the smaller ones. The one that I cut up, that I'm getting to in the story, so I opened the box and used one for my dinner. I was like, I still can review this, but it's not going to throw it off much. So I cut it up. I diced it up. It was really oily when I was cutting it up. Extremely oily. I remember that. And I just sprinkled it. I had like 2 bratwursts, 2 sausages, hot dogs, whatever you want to call it. And I sprinkled, quite a bit. I had 3 of them that night, and I sprinkled quite a bit. I was halfway into eating this, and I was like, this is warmer than I anticipated. Finished that. Started sweating a little bit. Now, I had hot sauce on there, mustard and stuff, but a normal habanero wouldn't affect me that way with food like that. So I ate another one, and it was getting hot. I mean, it was getting like low level, super hot level hot. So I had my phone with me, so I finally, for the first time, looked up the Big Sun habanero. Sure enough, it's clocking in estimated 400 to 800,000 on the Scoville scale, where your normal habanero, orange habanero, is what, 100 to can get up to 400. These start at the 400. And I was convinced that night that this was in that 750 to 800,000 because it was super oily. It made me sweat quite a bit. It was enjoyable. But it hit me off guard is the point of this story. It really shook me. It shocked me. Not shook me, it shocked me. Because I was just anticipating it's going to be like a normal habanero. I just assumed it was getting its name because it's bigger, which it is, but it's also double the heat almost, or can be. So let's go ahead and give it a shot and see what we're working with on today's. I mean, just right off the bat, it's got more of a it was pretty oily. I mean, it's definitely hotter than a normal orange habanero. It has a different taste as well. It has more of a... I'm not trying to sell the pepper here, but it has a chinense, like smell in the mouth and taste profile to it. And it's got some fruity notes as well, but I don't get that Chinent super hot flavor from a normal habanero. Even a red Savina, I don't get it. This one, I'm getting it. And I get that flavor right up front. And then as you continue to work the pepper, chew it, and then those fruity notes that you're used to with like an orange habanero or something like that, then they come in. And then it stays on the palate. I've got the fruity notes still staying on the palate and not so much that, for lack of better term, super hot flavor. Now, I can see oils in the pepper, but also it's a really juicy pepper in terms of the flesh of this pepper. And you can see it's really pretty thick walled pepper. I mean, you can see out here how thick that is. That's also containing some moisture. And when I say juicy, it's a good pepper. They're big, so you get a lot of volume with it. So if you're cooking with it, you get a lot with it. I only needed one, finely diced and chopped up, for 3 bratwursts. Whereas normally I'm going to use about 2 or 3 regular habaneros. Depending on the size of those, sometimes can be kind of big as well, but she's mean. For a habanero variety, it's up there. Interesting pepper. Native to Africa. The burn profile is similar to a regular habanero. Wow. For a lack of better terminology, again, it has that aroma flavor of what you get from super hot varieties, in particular reds. And it is right now that I'm now into the placenta, really starting to light up the tongue, underneath the tongue. Even got a little bit in the back of the throat, which I typically don't get from regular habaneros. For the birds. Yeah, it's oily, man. Coming up through the nose. I'm gonna have to sneeze. It's got that. I'm gonna have to sneeze. It got me. Hold on. Okay. False alarm almost. Ooh. It's generating a lot of saliva. I'm not making this up. That is a hot habanero variety. Okay. I've only eaten 2 of them now. He sent me like 3 or 4. So I've got a few more. But I'm going to use them on, I'm going to cook with them because they're tremendous. But I've now had it with food. I've now had it in this application. They're mean. The front of my mouth right now is lit up hard. It's generating a lot of saliva. My nose is running. And it was coming back through the nose because it got a little bit floral. And I sometimes get floral, chinense, super hot, right? If you were to categorize, if you were to use all 3 of those as descriptors, this had it, right? And those are flavors that I get from a lot of super hots. Now, this isn't high level, super hot level, but I think that 400 to 800 Scoville rating range for this pepper is spot on. And these particular ones from Twisted Pepper Farms, I think are definitely on that high range because it's got me kind of breathing hard. It tasted super hot. It tasted chinense, little floral at the end. It was oily. It's low end ghost pepper heat. It's as hot as some of the lower end ghost peppers I've eaten over the years. Now, I've had some really hot ghost peppers that are hotter than this. So I would say that these are definitely easily in the 600 to 800,000 range probably. I mean, because they're hotter than the hottest habanero I've had. Oh, a tree came for a visit today. And on that note, my friends, I'm going to end the video. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for burning with me. That was a Big Sun habanero.